Maybe you've walked through the aisles of the hardware store lately and noticed that so many paints come in a zero VOC or low VOC option now. This sounds so great, right? Well, no, not actually. This can be very deceiving, and the truth is, VOCs are not the only toxin inside paint. There are so many other unregulated toxins that are inside those paint cans. So while it might be helpful to start there and start looking at VOC free or low VOC, there is a list of other toxins that you need to be aware of when you're shopping for paint. But you know that I'm not just gonna leave you with this information. I'm gonna tell you exactly what to look for and exactly how to shop for totally toxin-free paint to bring inside your healthy home. Welcome back. I'm Amanda. I'm a healthy house expert, a building biology practitioner, and a certified home inspector. I'm the owner and creator of Healthy House on the Block, where I help you create a space inside your home that is free from toxins and actually supports your health and wellness rather than burdening it down. Today, I am so excited to walk you through how to purchase toxin-free paint, what you need to look for, and of course, I'm going to share with you my top brands that are all Healthy House approved. Paint is actually a major contributor to indoor air pollution and releasing VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and semi-volatile organic compounds. These are labeled as SVOCs when you're looking at paint, and it can release these things into your air for days, weeks, even months after you apply it to your walls. So many conventional paints, and even those labeled low VOC, still contain a lot of harmful chemicals. So just for reference, low VOC is actually a range. It doesn't mean that there's almost no VOCs, and even no VOC, zero VOC, it's a range of VOCs. It doesn't mean absolute zero. So there can be volatile organic compounds in your paint, even if it says zero VOC. But formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. This is also in paint. We have benzene, toluene, and xylene. These are all very specific VOCs. They're linked to liver, kidney, and nervous system damage. There are APEs. These are endocrine disruptors that are found in a lot of acrylic paints. And then there are antimicrobials that are added to extend the shelf life. These are actually known for triggering skin and respiratory sensitivities in so many people. Now, in 2022, Environmental Science and Technology found that volatile organic compounds, VOCs, including paint, contribute to nearly 50% of urban air pollution. They also emphasized that indoor exposure can far exceed the outdoor levels. So these toxins accumulate in your home's air and they contribute to body burden. This is when our body has so many toxins that it starts to change the way that our body functions. Harmful substances gradually build up in our system, and this can lead to chronic inflammation, hormonal disruption, and respiratory irritation. So another toxin you can start looking for are these toxic air contaminants. TACs is usually what it's labeled as. It is a classification used in states like California to track airborne chemicals that may cause cancer or non-cancer health effects like developmental harm or immune system suppression. So the reason that TACs came about is because things labeled low VOC still emitted formaldehyde, and so we needed a way to really track and label these things. So TAC, toxic air contaminant, can be a number of things. A lot of certifications like Green Guard Gold or Green Seal can help eliminate some of these. We know that those toxins won't necessarily be in that paint, but TACs and HAPs, which we're going to talk about next, they kind of overlap, but they're essentially other chemicals that are in toxins that are not classified as a VOC. So HAPs, hazardous air pollutants, are a group of chemicals identified by the EPA, and they are known or suspected to cause cancer, reproductive toxicity, birth defects, respiratory issues, and other serious health conditions, but they're not necessarily a VOC. So these pollutants are commonly released during the manufacturing and off-gassing of these conventional paints and coatings. Some of the specific toxins would be formaldehyde, benzene, toluene, and methylene chloride. These are all toxic to the body in various ways. A lot of them are carcinogenic in nature, they're neurotoxins, and can have a harmful effect on the nervous system. So they're all things that we need to look for in paint that aren't VOCs. Have you joined my community yet? Inside the Healthy Home community, we are adding new members and new experts every single day. Not only is this a great place to ask questions and get your answers right away from professionals, but it's also a place where you can connect with other health-minded homeowners. If you're wondering if your home is healthy or not, then you have to get my new resource, the Healthy Home Checkup. It's a self-guided quiz and assessment that helps you figure out just how healthy your space is. And it's all inside the Healthy Home community waiting for you. Just head to the video description below where I have the Healthy Home community link. I can't wait to see you in there. So what does a toxin-free paint look like then? Well, first and foremost, we want it to be APE-free. This avoids hormone-disrupting solvents that could be in the paint. We always want it to be free from antimicrobials, no unnecessary preservatives that can harm aquatic life or affect reproductive health. One thing to keep in mind is that some low VOC paints still contain high VOC colorants. So the base might be free from VOCs, but once you add that color, there's a lot more VOCs in that paint than you originally thought. So choose brands that use mineral or clay pigments. And then obviously we don't want VOCs in the base paint as well. So this would be something to look for. 0 VOC. This will tell you that there are low levels of VOCs in the paint, but obviously we want to look at all these other things too. Hazardous air pollutants are a group of chemicals that are identified by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, as known or suspected to cause cancer, reproductive toxicity, birth defects, respiratory issues, and very serious health conditions that will vary. These pollutants are commonly released during the manufacturing and off-gassing of conventional paint and coatings. So when you bring it into your home, it is going to be off-gassing. So some of the most common HAPs found in traditional paints are really common things that we already talked about: formaldehyde, benzene, toluene, methylene chloride. But then there are others that kind of fall into this just blanketed category. So even after paint has dried, trace levels of HAPs can linger in your home's air, especially in poorly ventilated spaces or in colder months when the windows are closed. And then toxic air contaminants, TACs, these are classified and they're used in states like California to track airborne chemicals that may cause cancer or non-cancer health effects like developmental harm or immune system suppression. So the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, monitors over 200 TACs, including many found in paints and different types of coatings. Some of the TACs overlap with the HAPs, but the state level monitoring is often much more rigorous. So using California's Rule 1113, which is a standard for architectural coatings, it's a good benchmark when selecting non-toxic paint, as it sets this really strict limit on not just VOCs, but also certain TACs in the paint colorants and the bases. One really helpful way that you can find the VOC data in your paint and check the actual VOC levels is to Google the paint brand and product name with the phrase technical data sheet behind it. And what you'll do is you'll open the PDF that pops up or the page, and then you'll use your search feature, so Control F, and you'll search for VOC. And then you'll want to look for the grams per liter. This will give you the actual count of VOCs in that paint if it's labeled low VOC or 0 VOC. Paints with Green Guard Gold certification are tested for over 10,000 chemicals, and they must meet very strict emission limits, especially for homes with children and sensitive adults. So what this means is there's no significant off-gassing. They are safer for long-term indoor use, and they're reviewed annually to ensure this ongoing compliance. So a Green Guard Gold certification is a great thing to look for when you're looking at paint. As promised, I'm sharing with you my favorite brands. I have all of these linked with more information in the blog post this week. So Real Milk Paint is 100% organic, no VOCs, no toxins at all. There's also Faro and Ball. They are a water-based, European Union tested paint. This is a great option for a non-toxic paint in your home. BioShield is solvent-free. They use clay pigments, and it's very, very natural. Ecos paint is one of my favorite. They're Declare label certified. They have no VOCs in the base or the pigments, and they are fully transparent with their technical data sheet. And then AFM Safe Coat, again, they're very transparent, 0 VOCs, they have ingredient disclosure, no toxins in this paint. And then finally, Healthier Paint Company. So they're made with 94% food grade ingredients. They were made for builders and they made a toxin-free paint that is specifically for builders. So a lot of builders like this paint. It's very easy to use and it is toxin free. So I would invite you to head to the link in the video description. It will bring you to my blog post where you can also download my non-toxic paint guide that will help you when you're shopping for paint at the store and show you exactly what you need to be looking for. I hope you are able to take at least one idea from this week's video and apply it to your own home. You can also download my guide that I have on my website. The link is in the description below. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new tips and new ideas on how to create a truly healthy home, one that supports your health and your wellness.